Hop onto the shuttle bus this week as we discuss part three of our Maybe I'm Dreaming discussion. We are your hosts, Faith and Sapph. Welcome to Shuttle Bus Podcast. Good evening. Welcome to the shuttle bus as we continue our discussion on Maybe I'm Dreaming. This week we will be discussing air traffic. I'm your host, Faith, here with my wonderful co-host, Sapph.
Hey, Faith, how are you?
Good, good. Would you like to kick off our discussion on air traffic?
Absolutely. I just want to say air traffic is so much fun and it's a joy to listen to. And with that, on the beginning of it, I really liked the kind of airy, like whirring sound at the beginning. It's kind of a long intro, but I feel like there's so much detail to be found in this short little song. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's my first point.
Yeah, I that's a good way to put it because I was listening to the intro and it has that very distinct like intro. And I think whirring is the best way to put it. I was also going to talk about the intro a little bit too. It is one of the like dream I feel like I say this about every Owl City song, but it is what it is. It's a very dreamy song. It's one of the more dreamier of Owl City songs, but I feel like that's to be said about all of Maybe I'm Dreaming. It Maybe I'm Dreaming just in general is has some of the most iconic Owl City sounds and like songs on it, and Air Traffic is like no exception. It very much just screams to me like, oh, that's Owl City music. I will say the intro was kind of long, um, but he did it so well. So yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. It's not like Panda Bear. Panda Bear did not do it well. It had a very long intro, but it just was lacking something. But he um he changed that and like fixed that error with air traffic because air traffic has a longer intro, but he does it so well and it's just so pretty and you could just listen to that intro on repeat forever.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree with that. Um, so dreamy. I know it's really hard to describe this entire album as anything other than dreamy. It's so I don't know, fluffy and makes you feel like you're not on planet Earth. Planet Earth turns slowly. Ha ha ha. Anyways, but it's just it really does a really good job at making you feel light and dreamy is definitely a really good word for it. And speaking of dreamy, I would say that he has a very soft dream-like voice, and it's kind of breathy. He really puts a lot of breath into his singing, especially on this song. But I don't really notice that exactly with the rest of the Maybe I'm Dreaming music. I just say that it's mostly on this song. But the harmonies, oh my gosh, the harmonies between him and Brienne, my bad, Brienne is I don't know, it's so good. I feel like she picks up about like halfway through the song and then it really carries throughout and she adds a lot to it.
Yeah. Um it's just there's not much ways to describe it other than dreaminess. It's just it fits it so well. I will say you're right. This I hadn't thought about it, but this song is one of the only songs, if not the only song, I think maybe Skydiver too, where he has that more breathy, slow, like way of singing, like the way he sings is more like breathy and slow and soft. Um, but this is one of the few songs on the album that he uses his voice like that. Usually he's like very like strong with his voice and like he's like you can like hear an excitement to his voice when he's singing, but this is like so different. It's like very relaxed and soft. And it's very relaxing. Um The cadence. It's the Owl City cadence. I was telling you this earlier, but this is the ultimate Owl City cadence song. Um, Probably I will probably listen to another song at some point and say the same thing, but right now in my brain, this is the ultimate Owl City cadence. Fun fact, fun little story. This is a little getting off the rails real quick, but I will get back on the rails soon enough. I was typing my notes and writing Owl City cadence into my notes, and apparently I have written this enough that my phone is starting to autofill Owl City cadence, which is hilarious.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that. I haven't quite typed it enough because I was like, I hear the Owl City cadence, don't get me wrong. I just didn't want to point it out because I was like, we've mentioned it so often, which is real. It's real. Owl City cadence is a thing. Something with like the latest. I don't want to say it latest. With the current Owl City music that we're going through, something about it. He just has a way of speaking that's not on the new and it's not on the older stuff like before this. And it's just like, huh? But yeah, no, that's great. I love that. That's definitely gonna become a thing, at least with us two, if not anybody else.
Yes.
But yeah, so moving on. I would say I really like, so this kind of ties in. I love the rhythm that the simpler drums provide. And the string synths, oh my gosh, the string synths are so nice in this because they come in on the beginning, but they also really like fill a lot of empty space on air traffic. And I don't know, it does make you feel like you could be either in an airplane, or just like even you could feel the wind. I could definitely feel the vibes that were coming off of this song, and it was like air, just air everywhere, air.
Yeah, it's just the instrumental to this song. I don't know. He did a really good job on this one. I've heard a couple people like say that they don't really like air traffic, and I don't get it because it's one of my favorites off of Maybe I'm Dreaming. But to do each his own. Um, I really enjoy. I'm gonna say it again. I really enjoy his voice in this song. It's just he does such a good job with it. And like it's I feel like when you talk about Owl City, I feel like a lot of people like imagine him having that because he's like the shy introverted person, like people expect his music to like be this super like soft and dreamy and like he's not an outspoken person, so you don't expect his music to be that way. You expect to be very very soft, but like usually his music, he's very strong in his voice when he sings, and he's like almost shouting out a lot of his lyrics, and he's very very just excited to be there, it feels like. But with this song, and there's a few in his discography that have just that very soft breathiness to it, and this is one of them. And it's just he does it so well. Like he does pretty much everything that he does very well. I enjoy all types of music when he has that stronger voice or when he has the softer voice, but it's just I don't know. He does it's the dreamy softness so well. It's just you just get lost in the song so easily.
Yeah, no, definitely. It does a really good job of painting a carefree picture. Um, it's just very nice, very nice, and as you said, relaxing. This isn't really in my notes, but if I were going to compare this song or a couple of like his more relaxing songs, it would be to the music artist Anson Sabra, who does a lot of like very soft music, I guess. So I would just say that if I were going to compare it. But yeah, no, strong, excited. That's a very good way of describing how Adam presents himself in most of his songs. So this one definitely is a rarity. And with that, of course, with this older stuff, we have a lot of really abstract lyrics. And so air traffic for sure is one of those. I really like the lyric, I'll paint my eyes a light green. The lyric before it's, I'm just a shell as far as I can tell, so I'll paint my eyes a light green. And I'm not really 100% sure what it's referring to, but it sounds really pretty, and that's one of my favorite lyrics in this song. It's really nice. It's kind of comforting in a way. This song, I would say this song is comforting. So yeah.
That's as you're saying that lyric about the I'll paint my eyes light green, it made me think of the line in How I Became the Sea, where the lyrics something along the lines of "My eyes turned blue and green." It reminded me of that, so I thought I would throw that in there.
Oh, I don't remember that one. Of course, it's been a little while since I've heard how I became the sea, but yeah, definitely, definitely.
How I Became the Sea used to be one of my biggest obsessions, and I would listen to it all the time on repeat for like ever. So yes, it's kind of like cemented into my brain. I'm actually surprised how long it's been since I've listened to that song, since I listened to it all the time when I first got into Owl City. But the lyrics in this are interesting. There's is one of his more abstract songs where there like usually there's some kind of narrative going or there's some kind of story, but he throws it in like a very abstract kind of way. There's less of a story going on in this, unlike some of his other songs. And one of my favorite lyrics, just because it sticks out, it's the one that and breathe in the pristine crime scene. I want to know the story, the thoughts behind him making that lyric about him breathing in the pristine crime scene. It sticks out and it makes me chuckle a little. All the other lyrics are like very pretty and they just like create imagery in your head. And this one's very pretty. It's got that Owl City cadence, but it sticks out and it makes me chuckle a little every time I hear it.
I don't want to ruin the song, but it does make me wonder if there's something like that happened on the airplane that might be a little more sinister. Because you've got
Yes.
that lyric and the lyric that I mentioned before, which is "I'm just a shell as far as I can tell," and I'm like, huh, now that's really strange, kind of interesting, but back to the wholesomeness of this song and the really chillaxed nature of the song that I don't know if he has anything in mind, if it's just like supposed to be kind of chill and like warm and like go with the flow sort of idea, I guess, but I don't know what his thoughts were behind that. But anyways, another lyric that kind of goes with the overall vibe of the song is relax your back and let the noise sing you to sleep in my arms. And I don't know, the way that sounds, it's no worries, like I've got you. He's singing to his babe or whatever, and you can't help but feel comfort when he says that.
And see, and that's the thing that really throws the whole thing for a loop. It's like there's most of them are normal lyrics and they're so cute. And so I love that one. It's just I think that was one of the ones I was gonna put down. I didn't want to fill all of my notes with just lines of lyrics because I could fill them up because they're really good lyrics. So I do like that one. But now you've got my mind going with your whole like maybe something sinister happened because then it makes me think of your lyric that you chose earlier, which is the so I'll paint my eyes a light green. Maybe he's the criminal and he put in like colored eye contacts to like disguise his eye color.
That is really interesting. Um, nice thought. Nice thought. I wouldn't have thought about that. I was just more thinking of like if he's a shell, like being emotionless. So painting his
Yes.
eyes a light green, changing his disguise, and like sort of like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but at the same time, the pristine crime scene is like like you could say pristine. Pristine normally means like something is perfect. It is untouched or it is clean. If something is pristine, it could be clean. And I'm like, is this crime scene like completely like there's no issues at all with it? Is it clean? Is it done? I don't know. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to ruin the song, but I'm also kind of thinking a little bit over here because I watch a lot of murder mysteries. So I'm just kind of picking up on this and I'm like, that would be really interesting. I doubt that's the case, but it would be very interesting.
Have you ever heard of those like these games where you have like a cold case that you have to like solve, and there's like you get like
Yeah.
crime scene photos and stuff? Or my family does them. They're quite interesting. And we should come up with a line of Owl City ones based off of this one lyric.
We
We
should
can
build
call them
an
pristine crime scene
entire
games.
we should build an entire like murder case based off of this, and that would be really interesting. Just based
Just
off of an Owl City song in general, I think that would be kind of interesting. But that's not the point of the episode. We'll have to do that some other time. I think that would be really interesting though, because yeah, yeah, that'd be fun. Put our knowledge together, if you will.
yes, that should be our next big like project together. But getting back on track, because we probably should get back on track at some point. Sorry, I keep distracting everybody with the crime scene line. It just catches me off guard every time.
Look,
But
I
anyway,
was the
moving
one who
on.
brought it
Moving
up,
right along.
okay? I was the one who brought this up.
It was group effort, group effort. You brought it up once. I keep bringing it up because it's just really fascinating.
It's really interesting. Group ever, yes. Moving on.
Moving on. So I just there's a lot to say about air traffic, but at the same time, also not a lot to say about air traffic. It's pretty simple in its structure, and the lyrics, since they don't build a story, there's not a lot of story, as far as we know, a lot of story to talk about. And there's like, there's certain aspects I personally found to pick apart and talk about, but there wasn't a whole bunch to talk about with air traffic. Not because it's not good. Everything about it is very well put together and it all works very well together. It just, I personally did not have, like, it didn't, there nothing, it stuck out, like, greatly stuck out. Like, there's a lot of songs we listen to, and, like, there's certain aspects that just really catch us. But for personally, I didn't find a whole bunch of, like, catching moments in air traffic. But that's in a sense a good thing because it was very calm and like lullaby-ish, and it was like I just kind of was listening to it and got like lost in like the imagination of it all, and, like the relaxation, and like just kind of chilled while I listened to it. So it's good for that aspect. Not a very discussion heavy song, but like it's a good song. And that was not even my point. I'm rambling on way too long about something that's not even my point. My point is um the I like how the end of the song is like the whole song's already simple. But I like how the end of the song is like extra simple, and like air a lot of the instruments cut out, and like it mainly focuses on Adam singing, and it's a perfect way to end a song that's already really good and like really calming and just kind of gets you lost in the imagination. It's a really good way to end a good song already.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. It's very simple and that's okay. You don't need a lot from this song. You just want to put your headphones on and chill. And chill. So, anyways, that is all my points for this evening. Um,
Yes. So, moving right along from discussing Owl City Cadence, trademark, to discussing Shuttle Bus Math, also trademarked. Technically not, but you know.
it's trademarked for our purposes.
It's trademarked in our hearts. It's not about the podcast, it's about the trademarks we made along the way.
Aw, so cute.
So anyway, I forgot I never actually got to the question. How would you rank air traffic? How would you rank air traffic 0 to 10? You know, how would you rank it?
So honestly, I really liked it, but I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. And the reason it's a little low is because it's short. It's so short. It's really hard to pick out anything other than the lyrics. Not to say they aren't good. They are good. It's just I don't want to talk all about the lyrics when there's an entire song to be discussed. But it's so short. There's not much here. You can point out the synths, you can point out the harmonies, you can point out the rhythm, and then there's nothing left, really. And so that's the reason I give it kind of a smaller rating. But I think you have a different opinion, so what do you think?
Really thinking 10 out of 10. It was one of those things that on paper it sounded really good to give it a 10 out of 10, but then as we were actually like discussing the song tonight and how hard I was actually finding it to actually like discuss the song and how little there was to actually discuss about the song, I'm realizing my ranking was going lower and lower. Not that it was a bad song, it's just it's good to listen to, but it's hard to discuss, if that makes sense. So it's like, I don't know, I'm somewhere like, on one hand I want to give it a 10 out of 10 because I do really love Air Traffic, and it's one of those just get lost in your imagination songs, but like it is really hard to discuss and pinpoint certain things about the song that I like. Like we listen to other songs and I can pinpoint certain things like, oh, this is why I love this song so much, because it just, that little part makes me just, I love it, it makes me so excited, it makes me so happy, you know. I love the way this sounds. I can pinpoint why certain songs like are so good and why I like them so much. This one, it sounds good, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should rank it slightly lower, maybe like 8 or 9 out of 10, but like, I don't know. I'm a little, I thought I was sure, but then after discussing it, I'm like, maybe I'm actually ranking this lower than I thought, because I'm thinking of the other songs on this album that are Saltwater Room. I gave Saltwater Room a 10 out of 10. Air Traffic is good, but I don't think it quite lives up to Saltwater Room. It doesn't live up to that. So I might have to go a little bit lower and give it an 8 out of 10. Even though that wasn't my original ranking.
I mean, yeah, so we don't have to do in chronological order in terms of our ranking, because this is really just all about the overall what we think of each song. But I understand what you mean, because that was the full, like, same reason that I gave it an 8.5, because I'm like, this is difficult. This is really hard to figure out what I like about this. So, yeah, for the exact same reason, we gave it a lower ranking. But it sounds nice. It's great. The production is great. It's very relaxing, and I think it does what he intended for it to be, which was just something chill. Very, very nice. Easy on the ears.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And 8 and 8.5 aren't low rankings. That's still really good for a song. So it just, I don't know, because we've been giving all these songs pretty high rankings, other than maybe Panda Bear, but Panda Bear didn't really earn a high ranking, but that's okay.
I mean, it's really because Maybe I'm Dreaming is our favorite album, so it's
right. So
it's they're bound to rank pretty high. They're bound to rank pretty high,
right?
But yeah,
even though 8 and 8.5 is a pretty high ranking, I almost feel like it's kind of low for Maybe I'm Dreaming. So I feel kind of bad about putting Air Traffic at 8, but that's still a pretty good ranking. It's just like, not that I'm trying to put the Maybe I'm Dreaming songs on like a linear like ranking, like, oh, this is like a tier list of my Maybe I'm Dreaming songs. I do it based on what I think about it as I'm listening to it, not based on anything else. But when I do think about how does this compare to how excited I was listening to Saltwater Room, it just doesn't. It's good. It's just not the same experience.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 16th episode of Shuttle Bus Podcast. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at shuttlebus_podcast for more Owl City related content. Right along with us next episode as we discuss more Maybe I'm Dreaming, and more specifically, the Technicolor phase. For now, this is Sapph.
And Faith.
Saying goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.